Hello, Teacher Holly here with a very helpful video on the interview lesson. Look, a hand, also known as finger mountain. I've been helping several referrals through this process recently, and all of my referrals who I've helped work on this specific lesson have passed, and they've made it. They've passed their interview. So I hope that what I put in this video you find helpful for you too. For copyright reasons, I am not going to put the slides up on because obviously that is property of GOGOKIDs. However, you already have their curriculum. They sent it to you when they invited you to interview. So I invite you to pull that up, and I'm just going to walk you through this and how to do your best on each slide. Now, there is a secret to getting through this lesson. There is a secret. I'll tell you that in just a minute. But first, I want to encourage you, if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch my video on the 4 fundamentals for your interview. Right now in this video, I'm talking about the curriculum itself. But in that interview, I'm talking about what you need to have around you, your environment, what you need to have ready, 4 really crucial things you don't want to leave out in terms of doing your interview. So make sure you watch that after this, because really nailing that interview is 2 parts. It's not just the curriculum, it's everything else too. So make sure you watch that video. All right, you ready for the secret? Here's the secret. GOGOKID wants to see that you can interact with their curriculum in a meaningful way and extend it. That's what they're looking for. So I want you to put yourselves right now in the shoes of someone who is learning Swahili for the first time. Let's say you had to learn Swahili, and all of a sudden you're on this online video chat with somebody and they are speaking only Swahili to you. That's it. Nothing else. And you're supposed to decipher from everything they're saying 1 or 2 words and know what they are. If you were sitting in that lesson, I guarantee you by the end of that lesson, you would not be hoping to be speaking fluent Swahili. No, you'd be like, can I get 1 or 2 words? Can I know how to say please and thank you? Can I know what a car is? Whatever the case may be, you'd be looking for 1 or 2 things. That's what this lesson is. So while for you as a native English speaker, it feels possibly uncomfortable or boring to be focusing on a hand for a full lesson, that's actually crucial. That's how language acquisition works for a second language learner. So be patient with the lesson. Don't rush it. Don't feel like I've got to bust through this. This is boring, whatever. No, repetition is the key. So the secret is interact with their curriculum, interact with it well, and extend it. And I'm going to show you how to do that on actually every single slide. Okay, so let's get started. You know that you have to have a secondary reward system in your classes and in your interview. And here's what this means. In the digital classroom, there are stars that you award to the students, but you need to have something else, not just the stars. I have a big recommendation for you. For your interview, keep it simple. When I interviewed for the first company that I work for, oh my goodness, my reward system was elaborate. I was fumbling with it. It was a nightmare. Keep it simple. I recommend super simple. One of the easiest ones I think that are great is party horns. I get these from Dollar Tree or any dollar store, 10 for $1, and I put a little magnet on the back of it, and all I do, you don't even have to do the magnet, I just go, oh, good job! And then I hold it up, they get to see it, and boom, they get a reward. Here's the thing, you have to do that secondary reward in your interview. That's going to feel weird. Your interviewer is an adult pretending to be a kid, and that's going to feel weird to you, but you need to make sure you take the time to do that. They want to see that you're doing that. All right, so here we go. Slide number 1 is the introduction slide. It's the title screen that shows Finger Mountain. So here's what you're going to do on this. This is all about building rapport with the student. So you're going to first say hello and wait for them to say hello. If they don't do it, say hello. Wait for them to do it. And then you introduce yourself. Hello, my name is Teacher Holly. After you've done that, slowly and clearly, you ask, what's your name? And wait for them to answer. And they will possibly answer. If they say, they just look at you, try it again. What's your name? Now, if you have an interviewer who is testing you right from the beginning to see how you handle a student who does not respond. Here's where you pull out the prop and you model conversation. You can use a puppet, you can use a stuffed animal. I recommend using something that the student recognizes. So for instance, I have a cat, or you could use a panda or a stuffed dog. So what I would do if the interviewer doesn't say a word, I would say it again. Hello, what's your name? My name is Kat. Hello, Kat. What's your name? Then if they still don't do it, move on. It's time to move on. I'm sure by then the interviewer will give you their name. And you need to make sure you use that name frequently throughout the lesson. Here's the good news. The interviewer will be Chinese. Very good chance that this is a secondary language for them as well. But they will give you an English name. Aren't you lucky? You won't be so lucky necessarily in your classes, but you'll get an English name. So, hello, Irene. Nice to meet you. Irene, are you ready? Let's go. Click to the next slide. Okay, next slide, second slide. You see a picture, there's a hand. What you're whole trying to do is introduce the concept of hand. You're supposed to draw the focus to the hand. So the very first thing you ask the student is, what do you see? And then you wait. You wait and see what the student says. Ideally, you're trying to get them to notice the big giant hand, but they may not. So if they don't do that, circle the hand with your cursor. Circle it. What do you see? They may not know the English word for hand. That is the point of the lesson. But we're just trying to get to draw. That's the whole goal. Draw their attention. Draw their attention. Now you click on the hand and some really cool animation will happen, which is a great hallmark of GOGOKID's curriculum. Really cool animation. And it starts to move. And that's when you say, hand. Hand. Good. Now, what you need to do is listen for the interviewer. The interviewer might say back, hand, and you're supposed to catch that they left off the D. Good. Hand. Good. Or they may go, handa. That's common. That's common in all the classes, adding an at the end of words. So they'll say, handa. Good. Not handa, hand. Good. Then you go to the next lesson. Slide number 3, the next slide. Now on this one, you're going to click the hand and then you're going to circle the word hand and say hand, hand, hand. Good. Hand. And then here's where you might want to bring out a prop. So like, for instance, if you have a clapper, hand. If you have a paper doll or other doll, hand. Or one of their characters, GOGOKID's characters, hand, hand. You're just trying to say hand like 100 times, trying to get the student to say hand. That's the goal. All right, now you click on to the next screen, and slide number 4 is introducing the concept of an arm, okay? But we're not yet to the point where we say, I see an arm, I see a hand. Nope, we're just looking for the vocabulary word, arm. So here's what you do. You click on the picture of the word, click arm, circle, arm. You circle it, not them. Circle, arm, arm. Arm, arm, arm. See how I'm trying to get the student to do it? Arm. You're trying to get the student to interact with you. What you're really trying to avoid is a passive student who's just sitting there. Arm, arm. Try to get them engaged. Arm. Move around. Point to your props. Look. Arm, arm. arm, arm, and get them to say arm. That's the goal. Vocabulary right now, hand and arm, and a student that is engaged. Okay, now that we've done that, now we're going to start kind of opening it up a little bit. I want you to think of it as kind of like this flower that's unfolding, and you've introduced the vocabulary word. Now you're going to start introducing some connections between the vocabulary word, the characters on the screen, and then you're going to start putting that into sentences. So on slide number 5, you're going to click hand and ask the student to click hand. Hand, hand, click hand. If they don't know how to do that and they just stare at you, pull out your mouse. Click hand, hand. Good, hand. If they still don't do it, you click it. You go ahead and click it so it starts the animation. Then you ask them to do the same thing. You say arm, circle the word arm, 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 click arm. Then you introduce head, and head is actually a new vocabulary word here, and it's not a word that they're actually seeing in print on this particular lesson, but they do need to know it because they need to move it and identify it. So circle it and say head, 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 click head. Very good. And when they click, it moves the body parts to the character on the screen. All right, now slide on number 6. This is a really fun one because here's where you get a really great chance to extend and do some more things with the material. Okay, so obviously what we're trying to do is to always go back to the vocabulary. The learning objective is that they know the vocabulary words arm and hand, or hand and arm in that order. So you want to check for that first. Irene, where is hand? Where is hand? Click hand. Hand. Good. Where is arm? Arm. Click arm. Good. And then you can also invite them to click the egg. You could do that at the beginning if you wanted to, because that just does a fun little animation. But always remember, you're going for the vocabulary. The company, like I said, the secret is they are trying to see how you interact with the curriculum. Are you actually teaching to the lesson, or are you just doing your own thing? Teach to the lesson. So click. You're aiming for arm and hand at this point. Now, if you have extra time, this slide offers you a wealth of extension activities. What extension means is you just take the object that you're learning or whatever it is the objective is, and you're trying to extend it, make it longer, bring in other material, bring in other details. Let me give you an example of that. So here I am with my cat. Let's say the vocabulary word was cat. We have cat. Woohoo, we have cat. Now I might say, cat, what is this? Ear, ear, tail, tail, purr, meow, purr, meow. See, all of that, none of that was in the actual lesson. It's just extending it. It's like adding bonus material at the end of the content. So that's what you want to do if you have time. Now, speaking of time, you will get, I think it's roughly 10 minutes for your demonstration. In your interview, when you first interview, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and then they will invite you to teach the lesson. They're going to give you 10 minutes. They may tell you more. Keep track of what they tell you. So you want to aim for roughly, because there are 12 slides, roughly a minute or less per slide. Some slides are going to take less. If you have banked some time, so to speak, here's where you can extend and use more time. But the danger of that is that you don't overextend. You don't spend forever extending on the slide. So pick one or two things. What is this? Circle the butterfly. 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 Good. What is this? Apple. apple, apple, apple. What color is the apple? Red, red. Good. See, now you've extended. You haven't taken a ton of time, but you've added a little bit more material. Okay, moving on. Slide number 7. You are going to click on this one, the egg and the boy, and then you're going to click the speech bubble, because here's where we're moving to a little bit greater content and greater understanding. We're moving from the vocabulary word to the actual sentence. This is back up. This is his arm. That's the sentence. This is his arm. That's what you're trying to get. So you'll take your doll and you'll say, or your prop, arm, arm. This is his arm. Now your interviewer at this point very likely will leave off a word. This is arm. Good. This is his arm. This is his arm. Yes, good job. And remember, like I said at the beginning, add some rewards after a couple slides. Good job. 1, 2, 3. Very good. And you get a star. Click. So you're going to do that. Reward throughout. But make sure, again, content, content, content. All right, next slide. Here we go. Slide number 8. We're almost done, guys. So you're going to ask the student, what do you see? Obviously, by now, we're hoping they say at least hand. Click on the speech bubble that says this is his hand. Get the student to repeat that. Move through that content. Same thing here. Then a place to extend with the student is, where is your hand? Irene, hand. Show teacher, hand. Good. Irene's hand. Yes, my hand. Yes, you can extend that way. All right, almost done. Now the final couple slides. Look and match. You're going to circle the sentence and read it. Have the student read it. If the student appears, interviewer, appears to be able to repeat it back or say it independently, let them do that first. Circle it and say, please read. See what they do. If they read it, awesome. If they don't, you read it, have the student repeat. Circle the other sentence, do that same thing. Then invite the student to draw lines to the body parts. All right, slide number 10. This is a review slide that is very, very brief if you have time. If you don't have time, here's what I suggest you do. At least catch one thing on the slide. Circle the word hand. Hand. Good job. Move. So here's where, if you're running late, do something so you're acknowledging the slide and then move on. That's if you have time. All right, last slide is the song. Here's the great thing about GOGOKID songs. First of all, they're very good. I'm a musician and I can tell you they are very good. Number 2, they sing them twice. So if you don't know it, click the play button on it and dance around. This is her arm. This, I can't even think of the song right now, but I'm just making it up. Okay, and so you're motioning, listen to it the first time and motion through it. And I feel really stupid doing that. And you will too, but that's okay. That's the point. We're teaching children. So then after it goes through one time, you can now sing along with it. This, da, 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 ba, ba, da, da, wah, wah. You know what I mean? Get into it, have fun. Final slide. Goodbye. Thank you, Irene. Good job. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 party horns. Good job. I will see you next time. Goodbye, Irene. Goodbye. And then you're done. And then you stop for the interviewer. Now, a couple of things. That was pretty fast, but go through, take notes, think about how you want to do each slide, gather your props. You want to have 2 or 3 props. So if you have like a baby doll that you could show a hand and an arm, if you have a paper doll, a printout, something, a clapper, whatever you can do to demonstrate arm and hand. And of course, use your own body, arm, hand, over and over again. But keep in mind, your interviewer may stop you, and there's a very good chance they will stop you before the end. If that happens, don't panic. That's normal. They have a good read on how you're doing, and they don't need any more to make their decision. So go ahead and be okay with that. If they don't stop you, just keep moving. Keep your eye on your clock. I recommend you setting up a stopwatch. So if they give you 10 minutes for that part, the second they say go and you go, start that stopwatch so you can keep an eye on it and know, okay, I'm tracking a little bit less than a minute per slide to stay on it. If you go so fast that you finish the slides early, my suggestion to you would be don't go to the goodbye song. Go backwards, skip backwards in the slides and go back to that slide with all the extension activities and add something there. Add something there. So go back and do that just for 2 minutes or so, however long you have, then pump back to the goodbye slide. It's okay if you have to click through to get there. That's fine. Again, you're proving to them that you can interact with the curriculum and that you can extend if necessary and when you have time. So that would be a great way to demonstrate that. Hey, I kind of went too fast, but I still made up for it. So that's what you want to do. I hope that was helpful for you. The last piece of advice I have for you is take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. They know you're not perfect. They know you don't have decades of ESL training. They know that. They're patient with you. Trust the process. They're going to give you great feedback. The feedback is going to be all constructive and how to help you be a better teacher. Their goal is not to eliminate you. Their goal is actually to recruit you so you become one of their teachers, but also to help you become the best go-go teacher you can. So make sure you just relax, take your time, have your props. Go back and watch that 4 fundamentals video. That's very crucial. That's the other piece of this. But I hope this one about the curriculum helped you. If you are in that application process, and even if you've already started, you can use my referral link or my referral code. When you do that, they send me notification. I will contact you and we will chat. Believe me, ask my other referrals. We will chat by text and video chat and phone call, and I will take you through every single step of this. So I hope that you will consider using me as your referral. If not, best of luck to you and have fun to all of you out there. Happy teaching and welcome, I hope soon, to the GoGoKid Teaching Tribe. Happy teaching, everyone. Bye.